Hello there, my Fab fans. So, before I start this video, I just wanted to let you know that I kind of started working on this and put it together before all these lore stories started coming out, before the set was released, which is awesome news. It does tell us that they're starting to put more effort into the lore of the upcoming sets, which is amazing. If you haven't read them, my video will kind of show what I was thinking was going to happen towards it. But I think with most of you probably already read it. So I'm still going to keep the video together. But I think at the end of the stuff going on with the stuff going on in Candlehold and the stuff that's going on in Vault Haven, I'm just going to kind of say something at the end, see what stuff I kind of had right, what stuff I had wrong, and we'll go from there. So, again, awesome that LSS is starting to do some more stuff. I know I really appreciate it, but let's get into the video. Let's get into the video. How's it going, my flesh and blood lore fans? Today we are going to take a look at the upcoming set, Rosetta, and seeing how it attaches to the lore at all, and everything that I'm going to discuss here are just my theories or what direction I think they might go with everything. So, to start, Rosetta is set in the land of Aria. And if we look in the map here, you can see that's tucked all the way in the upper corner here. The map is a lot larger. I just wanted to give you a little area here. As you can see, it's near Solana, Metrix, and we have Mysteria at the bottom right. So the land of Aria is a place that constantly changes. That like mountains can turn into plains. It's a never-ending, evolving land. But there's one place that stays the same there, and that is Candlehold. Now, Candlehold is where the Queen of Earth lives. I'm assuming it's Verdance, as she is the life of Earth, also known to be as the Queen. Because even in her picture, you can kind of see something that I would consider as a crown around her head. And now with that, if you kind of look through the lore stories around Aria, there's stories about after the war and stuff that happened in Aria, there was a sense of peace. And there's stories about the Queen of Earth planting seeds. You can see that in Briar's lore story. And at some point, Briar is going to be involved in all this because she is the warden for Candlehold. So she is protecting the queen. With that said, and you can see at the end of looking at the land of Aria's story, that the magical barriers are starting to fade. And it seems like there's another war coming. And that's where I think Florian shows up. For some reason, I'm thinking Verdance and Florian both do a slumber beneath the ground, and then there's this whole like essence of rebirth, something that we might not be aware of. And what might be happening in Aria is that there's this never-ending cycle of life and death. And when they talk about Verdance replanting the seeds of Briar's fellow brothers and sisters, I think there is some kind of rebirth that Verdance herself does. And for Florian as well. So there's obviously going to be a big battle in Candlehold between the two of them. And as you can see between the two pictures, Florian, I'm assuming, slumbers as the essence of life exists in Aria. And then when the cycle comes for death, I think he emerges from the ground and then kills the queen, and then the queen also has a rebirth from planting the seeds in the ground, and then she comes back as probably her younger form and then defeats Florian, and then it's just kind of like a rinse and repeat, like an endless cycle. So that is my speculation on what's going to happen inside Candlehold. Looking at the pieces that's going to be going on, the only couple of things that I might not have been right with, Verdance is obviously not the queen. She was a chosen rose, but it doesn't mean that she could end up being the queen later with the seed that was soiled underneath. And then Briar has left Candlehold, and there was no evidence of her coming back. But something does tell me that she could end up coming back at some point, because I still feel like this war might possibly happen. Even though Florian and Verdance were in agreement with everything, there can still be something that kind of interrupts that. In the other places of Aria, I wonder if they are always trying to find a way to break this cycle as well. With this set, we're also going to be exploring Volthaven, which is the essence of lightning. And that is where Lexi grew up from. And they do mention there being a aurora around Volthaven, which is what I'm assuming the actual hero Aurora is. Very similar to like Oldham, because Oldham to me was almost like the guardian of ice. They never specifically said that, but with everything that's saying about him awakening and everything, something tells me that Oldham is the guardian of Eisenloft, which is the ice area, and then I think Aurora is going to be the guardian for Volthaven. And in Lexi's story, they did say about when the berries and stuff were coming down, there was these secrets and like vaults opening up around Volthaven. And I might not pronounce his name right, but Ocilio, I believe it is. I think he is someone that is in one of these vaults. And I'm thinking with these things opening up in Volthaven might answer some questions about this cycle of life and possibly a way to end this constant life and death cycle and keeping everything to thrive. And that's where I think Ocilio is going to come in. Not really much of a backstory for him. We have no idea what he's going to be. That was just a brief discussion on how I think everything's going to go here. So most of my speculations here still kind of hold. The only thing that's different is that I was right about all the treasures and vaults in Volthaven, and that Ocilio, also known to Aurora as Silly, is from a vault. Let me know what you think. Think if I'm getting a little too outside of the box, or if there's some things that don't quite add up to you. Even for me, I'm not sure if I'm completely right, but with everything that I've looked at and how these characters look, it just seems like that makes sense to me. And we can find out in the future if I'm going to be right or not. So I hope you all enjoyed the lore talk here, and I will see you all next week. Take care.